Welcome back to the studio. Today we are joined by Will Mavity to hear about his expert Oscar predictions. Thanks for being here, Will.
Thanks for having me on. It's good to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So you are an Oscar enthusiast, and you've been making these predictions for years.
Yeah, for more than a decade now.
More than a decade? Oh my God.
Far too long. It's probably my favorite part of film in general, just because it's so political and it's never actually about the quality of a film. Oscar season's months long, and there's all kinds of scandals, propaganda, smear campaigns that go into them, and it's kind of the dirty underside of glamorous Hollywood that nobody wants to talk about. So.
I totally agree. And so you talk about all this on your podcast, Next Best Picture. So when did when did this come to be, and, tell me a little bit more about this project.
I started nextbestpicture.com with a friend of mine. I guess he's the true head of the website. I'm a co-host of the podcast and writer for the website with him. He comes from New York City. He's a fellow film enthusiast. We met on Twitter, of all places, and decided we vibed well and just decided we could make a show out of it. So every week we review films, discuss Oscar news and general industry news. And recently we've started interviewing a lot of pretty semi-major industry people.
Right.
We just had the sound mixer from La La Land on the show.
Steve Morrow.
Yeah,
and isn't he nominated for an Oscar?
Steve Morrow was nominated and will probably win next weekend.
That was your prediction. I was reading it on your website. Yeah.
And we had Kevin O'Connell, who's been nominated 21 times, including this year for Hacksaw Ridge. Never won before, probably won't this year either.
Oh.
And we had Moonlight's composer. And recently we got into Entertainment Weekly, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was so exciting. Well, so going back to La La Land, because, looking on your website and your podcast, you have predicted them to win a lot of major categories. Actress in a leading role, Emma Stone from La La Land. So tell me a little bit about, why you think the film is going to sweep so many of these, Oscars.
So La La Land is the kind of film that nobody doesn't like. And these days, the way the Academy votes, where they have 9, 10 nominees, it's something called a preferential ballot system, which is something that you're more likely to win if you get lots of 2s and 3s on ballots and no number 9s. So the reason The Revenant lost last year and Spotlight won is Spotlight wasn't as passionately loved, but nobody hated it the way some people hated The Revenant. So La La Land has some people who really love it, and then no one who hates it. It's going to get all those 2s and 3s. On top of that, it's a big, flashy, technical film. It's accessible. It's, it gets people smiling. At the end of the day, Academy voters want to be happy, and they try to shy away from something that's particularly depressing. That's La La Land for them. It's won pretty much every precursor award, be it the BAFTAs, which is the British Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice Awards, the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild.
You really know your stuff. Oh my gosh.
Award season, there's a lot of weird stuff.
There is.
But yeah, so it wouldn't really make sense for it to win 8, 9 Oscars and not win Best Picture too. And it's had the momentum since film festivals early this year. So.
Right. Well, so talk about, you chose actor in a leading role as Denzel Washington in Fences, and, you kind of chose La La Land, or you chose them and predicted them to win every category, so how come not this one?
So Best Actor is a really hard category. Casey Affleck has won almost everything this year, but it's a very quiet performance. Casey Affleck's very awkward on stage, whereas Denzel Washington knows how to campaign. He's been schmoozing up to voters, he makes great speeches, and he won at the SAG Awards, which is a huge predictor for the Oscars. So also Casey Affleck has baggage. Casey Affleck has a lot of accusations of sexual harassment, which have popped up in the industry a lot.
Yeah, that can't bode well for you.
Right. So on top of that, Ryan Gosling is in kind of a not showy role traditionally. You don't see musical performances tend to win often, whereas Denzel Washington is a respected veteran. He's a big, showy, Broadway-ready stage performance. Lots of crying, screaming, et cetera, et cetera. It's practically made for the Oscars.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to see if your predictions come out. You have a 90%, accuracy rate. So I'm really excited to watch the Oscars and see how it goes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Next up, we share Celebrity Oh No No of the Week. You don't want to miss this.